your bedtime story? Here's a good one. Here's a six-pack for your patience by Lauren Anders. I stare at my fuzzy TV and blank computer screen, both mocking me with their lack of internet connectivity. I try to calm myself, but my pits start to sweat, and the ear I have pressed against the phone starts burning. I wait and listen to cheesy, annoying music brought to me by Comcast. This is the second person I've talked to in the past hour. I sit hoping that the next service person who comes on the other line will speak an understandable version of English. Usually in this situation, I take rare advice from Comcast and outsource my customer service interaction to my nearest roommate. Unfortunately, today I'm trapped by time and have to handle my lack of patience and my cable problem on my own. This entire experience began early in the morning as I found myself frantically trying to connect to the internet to email my paper to myself so I could print it off on campus later in the day. I should have done it earlier, but when I pay over $100 a month for cable and internet, I stupidly expect them to work. Silly me, my punishment. I called to the unknown whereabouts of a customer service representative of Comcast. I call on my cell phone, listening to a long menu of numbers for various issues, waiting for the right number to dial for my particular issue. I want to scream, but I do not have the time, and all I need is a real live person. Finally, I hear, "Hello, my name is Rashad. Can I please have your username and account number?" And I cringe. The stressed syllables are a dead giveaway that this man does not speak English as a first language. I'm willing to try it with Rashad, though. So we find ourselves going through the notions of trying to communicate the problem and a solution. But along the way, I feel as I'm teaching Rashad English instead of him teaching me what the heck is wrong with my internet and cable connection. I politely ask for someone that can speak English, which causes Rashad to get upset and launch into a diatribe in his language. The only words I can make out are stupid and American. It is at this point that I am reminded why I get so irritated with customer service reps. This lack of communication is what truly bothers me. If I have a problem, I do not want to do communicating the actual problem. Rashad's accent and irritation simply added to my spoiled mood as I waited for the next person to help me. I am then transferred to customer service representative Tantia. Miss Tan, as she calls herself, speaks English in a colorful fashion, and I feel hopeful we can fix the problem together. She recites her extension in case something happens, and we dive into what I am sure will be the help I am seeking. However, after 20 very stressful minutes, no progress in Miss Tan's exasperation is soaking me through the phone. Frustrated, I ask for a manager, and then something very cruel happened to me. Miss Tan drops my call while transferring it. Now I know that everyone has experienced the mean joke called customer service sometime in their life. I realize at this point I should have walked away from the phone and prayed for my heart to start hammering. But I couldn't. It would have physically hurt me to walk away, so instinct took over. This time, I punched the numbers, counted my breaths as I went through the number directions, and punched in Mrs. Tan's extension. While waiting, I thought silently about the golden rule and how Comcast service reps should count as my neighbors. But the eerie, cheerful music crept into my skull, numbing all thoughts as I waited for Miss Tan to answer. Finally, I had to set my phone down and put it on speaker to avoid hurling. Then, hello. I'm sorry, this Comcast customer service representative is unable to take your call at this time because we are helping another valued customer. Please leave your name and account number or try back later. Thanks. Beep. At this point, I can't pretend I wasn't angry or frustrated, but I knew how to get my cable working, and sooner than later my paper was going to be MIA to my teacher. The third time I called, I ignored Mrs. Tan's extension written on my post-it and went through the motions as the first 2 times until I met customer service representative Aladdin. Yes, Aladdin. I couldn't restrain my hysterical giggles as they burst through my lips, not disguising the current of my irritation in my voice. Aladdin was a lucky guy that day, though, because while we were on my cable and internet, magically decided to start working. Aladdin claimed he didn't do anything to actually help, so I must have had a genie to thank somewhere. Regardless, I think it was because a guy named Aladdin never deserves a bad day. This ritual with Comcast reminds me of days on the phone with Dell, Alex Cohn, and all forms of maintenance reps. Nothing bothers me more than the poor customer service that I have consistently tried to avoid dealing with, the aggravation and the time not well spent. I finally realized I am not cut out to deal with this kind of ordeal. My lack of patience and overall exasperation about not being understood that this is involved in over-the-phone customer service has led me to find the perfect solution: bribery. Now, when I have a problem with my service in my home, I force one of my roommates to make the call with promises of a 6-pack if they're successful. So instead of complaining and griping and tearing my hair out, I let myself say, "Here's a 6-pack for your patience," and walk away. No wonder Comcast and others outsource.